Hey guys, it is Lauren with Sweet Home Sewing, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to make one section of our block 11. Y'all can't see that. Let me raise y'all up just a hair. Hold on. That way y'all aren't so far down. So block 11 of the Designer Mystery Block of the Month. I did get all but one section to go. So anyways, it wasn't as hard. I was sitting there, I kept putting it off because I was so dreading it, and I don't know why, because honestly it really wasn't that bad. I was dreading it for no reason. So we're just making our flying geese, and I know there's people that have been using the paper. I don't even know. I think I may have some somewhere, but I don't even feel like digging it out, and I'm just doing it this way. So we're just doing corner to corner, not corner to corner. Well, this one corner to corner, but you know. I did get another green and white block back sewn. It has been storming all day here. I was going to go to town and go do some running and stuff, but where I'm at, it was literally flooding, like cars and having to get rescued. So I was like, I'm not going anywhere, I'll just stay home. So I figured I'd just sew today. Okay, I'm gonna take these over there behind me and press them. Hold on, let me turn it all around. Okay, excuse us, I've got to get a new ironing board cover. I had ordered all of my mess over here, all my pattern, or all my stuff. I have ordered 2 different ones and they keep canceling them. So, Okay, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to press. And then we're going to press back towards the background fabric. This towel's been working good though. This is one thing I've learned, especially with the steam. You just press, and like set the seam, set the stitch, whatever, and then press. Don't stretch out the fabric. So I used to be really bad about that. It's just like one of those, like, ask me how I know. Because, I've messed up and stretched out plenty of fabric. And now I have love pressing with my iron, or with my seam. So what I'm doing is when I set the seam, it makes this fabric a little bit softer, and then I just like finger press and then put my iron on there for a few seconds with my clapper, and then look at that, nice crisp blocks. And then now what I'm going to do is we're going to trim these, and you can trim before. It just, for me, it makes it a little bit easier to trim them, or to press them before I trim, because you have a little bit more to hold on to when you're pressing it back. But that's just me. And then of course, it lays right back. So okay, let me turn y'all back around. Okay, make sure y'all can see. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. And like I said, I always, I have to look. Yesterday I was sewing them and I was doing this way. I was like, whoa. I got halfway through one and realize what I was doing. Always, if y'all remember, I always sew a little off the midline. It does. You will have to kind of trim sometimes, but it just makes sure that you're not too short and you have this, you know, the size that you need. I cannot believe we have one more month left of this. But I'm trying to take advantage of these rainy days that we have. And I'm kind of glad now that I did not plant my garden. Look, all my seeds, because my garden's underwater again. It is underwater. Should have brought my water in here. Okay, let me turn y'all back around. Okay, now we're going to be pressing towards the background. So we're pressing one side one way, the other side the other. I just like to finger press it because I can get it where I want it without using the iron and stretching. Especially since that's going to be on the bias, it can really stretch out that fabric. So you have to be careful. I should have put my other phone, my personal phone, on the charger because it's almost dead. I meant to do that and forgot. Okay, now we're going to trim these. And like I said, it's just, I don't know. I don't mind trimming them after I press just because it gives you a little bit more. Like a little bit more something to fold back. You don't have to worry about, because sometimes I know these will kind of curl and do kind of funky things, and you don't have to worry about that with these. Okay. I'm going to bring you all on. Okay. Now I'm going to see my mess over here. I have been sewing and everything's a mess. Oh, I forgot how to use this. I've been using my other one for so long. I'm using my new one. Wait a minute. Where? Oh, here it is. Where did my little thing go? Okay, so whoops. Okay, just going to trim this up a little bit. Why isn't this spinning? It's not wanting to spin. Or maybe I'm just doing it, I'm not doing it hard enough. I'm used to that other one. I don't know. This needs to be trimmed up just a hair. And I didn't do that to the others, and that was the mistake I made. Okay, this one's not wanting to spin. I'll have to take that apart and figure out what's going on here in a minute. It may just need to be loosened. That one cuts better because it's a new blade. But yeah, I didn't trim these down individually on my other ones, and I should have. I really should have. I'm just gonna do it this way because it kind of messed me up a little bit. I think one of my points did not match up like it should have, and yeah. So I'm just trimming these down. You don't need much, but it does need just a little. Every little bit counts. if I say so myself, because my other blocks came out way. I hope y'all can see me do this. Let's do this. That didn't sound a redneck. You see how much that one had. And that really does add up when you're doing this whole block. Mine kind of, I should have done this and I didn't think about it until after, and yeah. I feel like I kind of messed up just a hair. You're not going to be able to tell. I can tell, but you're not going to be able to tell. And then I sewed this one. All three of these I made, I sewed it on this side. So I had to go back through and rip all of these apart. And you can see how this is not even. So yeah, you can see how I messed that up. But you know, it is what it is. You won't be able to see once it's in the quilt. Yeah, I had to go back and rip all three of those out and resew them. Gummit. Went to go try to put two of my units together and realized this doesn't go here. This is not working. And I looked and I realized what I'd done. Okay, so that's all we have. So it's not much, but it does make a difference. Okay, I'm gonna flip y'all around. Okay, now what we're gonna do, and if you're new, the reason why I use this is it helps me, my little magnet, it helps me keep my fabric right here, because I get to talking or I get to thinking and I will like literally totally mess my seam up. So this is for me personally because I know how I am. Okay, so we're going to make our little flying geese unit, which is just, you're gonna go like that. And I always sew a scant 1/4 inch. Okay, same thing. And I have sewn these before backwards. I had to rip them out and resew them. I mean, who would have thought I would have done that, huh? Okay. Okay, that leaves my point there. You see what I did? I gotta rip this out. This is supposed to be on the bottom, not the top. See? I get busy and, or not busy, I get preoccupied rather. Did I just rip my fabric? Oh no, that was the thread. You know how many holes I put in my fabric before? Okay, so this is supposed to go this way. You know, I'm just trying to put it any old way I wanted to. Don't work that way. And it says to, when you go to press these seams open. Well, these wanted to fight me because of all this right here, so I didn't do that. I did it a way though my seams would nest, and it was fine. Maybe a little bulky, but for the most part, it worked. It was fine. So the ones with the red, I press towards the red, and ones with all blue, I press towards the top. Okay, I'm gonna press this real quick. I just run my iron to where they're all gonna go one way. Oh, let's see. And then I press. I should have put my microphone on for y'all. Okay. There's the block right there. It does get a little bit because of this, but okay, I need this one right here. Okay, this is gonna go this way. I do make sure my two kind of nest because the seams do go in opposite directions. So I kind of make sure my seams nest, but I also make sure those go together at the same time. And I just take this nice and slow. Remember, this is not a race. You're not trying to beat anybody. This is, you're going to go at your own pace. I used to feel like, I don't slow that fast. There must be something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. We all sew at our own pace. Some things I'll sew faster. Some things like this I sew slower just because it's, you know. Just want to press these. Press them towards the red. Okay. Let's see how these. See, they didn't line up perfectly, but it lined up for the most part. And you got to think too, when it's in a quilt and it's quilted, you're not going to be able to see some of these. Like, you're never going to notice. Like, I messed up on my strawberry garden block of the month, and now I can't even remember where I messed up on. Okay, now we're going to do our bottom unit. So our red square, our red is going to go out, and this red is going to go up. And then we're going to nest those, because these will nest, if you can see. Those will nest right together. And I like to put a pin right there. Just like that. And then these seams are kind of supposed to meet, but we'll see how they works. Kind of put my finger there. I don't know. Here it is right here. I don't know where this is. A little stiletto. So I'm going to press this one towards the bottom. Okay. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't mess up. Okay. So now we're going to put this here. Well, these are supposed to line up here, so we'll see how this goes. There's a bunch of bulk there. Like I said, I was supposed to iron those open, but it's like when you iron these to one side, I probably should have pressed all of them open. It almost gives it too much bulk to where my iron, like, it fights me. Okay, here is this block. So it really wasn't that difficult. I was very just flying geese, you know. So it really wasn't that difficult. It was actually, but once I really started just sewing it, it went together really quick. So, and excuse, I was trying to do something different to my hair. My aunt said, "Looks like you have teddy bear ears." Like, okay, well, it's out on my face. But she didn't. She said it didn't look bad. So, anyways, let's see how much this. Let's see how this measures. So basically measures. I'm gonna trim just a hair. You know. I need to figure out why this is not spinning. Because this one would actually be better because it's got a brand new blade on it. It's not a whole lot, but just a little, just to kind of trim it. This also helps get rid of all those extra little threads. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to. Oh, well, yeah, that's quite a bit bigger, so yeah. Okay, uh-oh. Oh, well, ain't gonna worry about it. Sometimes you can't be bothered. But if I do that, I don't want to lose my point here. That's my only... I don't want to cut too much off because I don't want to lose my points. For some reason, those don't want to match up perfectly. I'll probably lose my point on that one. I just did not. Yep, I'm going to lose my point. Dadgummit. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and fret about it. But here is my little flying geese block. I'm glad this one's done. And I really, really hope... Come on now, my camera. I really hope the next one's some... Not that these aren't cute, just, you know, something kind of, like I said, like the watering can, bird, and stuff like that. This is my other green. This is my 7th or 8th one to do. So I did do this one earlier. So, I'm going to put that with the stack with the others. And, so yeah. This is going to be all for this video. This is after I'm going to do a tutorial on the posy and the tulip blocks for summer on the farm, which is really, especially the tulip block, it is so easy. And then I am going to rip the first what is it, the row 1 and row 2 of the designer mystery block of the month. Rip that out and put the sashing in, and I'm going to start working on that quilt because I want, when that quilt comes in, or the next block comes in, I want to be able to have that ready to go. And all I have to do is I have to stitch the last block and then put its little frame and all that around it, and then stitch that into the quilt, and then it's ready to go to the long arm. I did contact the lady that owned our old fabric store, and I think I'm going to get her to quilt it this time. She said give her about 3 weeks. I know school is ending for her, so hopefully, I told her it'll be sometime in May. Hopefully I'll get it. I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, I will see you on the next video. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.